And okay, so at this point, obviously we spoke about the 4 different pillars. So when we're moving into Azure, governance, really important. We normally set this up at the very start to make sure that when you're moving the workloads into Azure, that you're thinking about the governance that's in place. So Azure policy, just quickly mention that. I've already mentioned it quite a lot on this call. So where possible, make sure you're putting policies in place to keep the compliance there. Azure locks. So Azure Lock can be applied to resource groups, to subscriptions, and it just makes sure that obviously you can't delete anything in that resource group or within the subscription that your production workloads are running in. Obviously, if you accidentally delete something, it could be catastrophic to your application. So just put Azure locks in there to make sure that it will prevent you from deleting it, or it will at least monitor the deletion if it happens, just so you're secure in that perspective. Role-based access control, so we haven't really touched much on this, but just please ensure when you're putting permissions into environments, whether it's for your own members of staff or for guest users that you're inviting into the environment for third parties, please do it to the least required access, not the most for ease of applying. So we see quite a lot that on subscriptions and things like that, owner permissions are given out, just to maybe manage something on a resource group level. Password administrators are sometimes given owner permissions when they only need to reset a password in Azure. So just make sure whatever the role is that you're giving to someone is the least privileges that are possible to do their job. And if that is owner permissions, that's absolutely fine. It's just something worth thinking about. And again, if you've got users that need to access certain parts of the environment, you can apply RBAC permissions to that part of the environment rather than the whole subscription. Another really good thing to think about is just-in-time access. So you can use just-in-time access to provide access to the virtual machines in your environment, but again, you need the correct licenses for this. So for just-in-time access, you'll need Security Center Standard, which is a cost per node. So Security Center Basic, is free, but then when you move up to the standard, it's a price per resource or per virtual machine. So just bear this in mind. But basically what just-in-time access allows you to do is it allows you to control the time that users have access to the machines. So it allows you to ensure that users need to request access to virtual machines rather than having the ports opened all the time and the access all the time. So then it really allows you to not lock your network down, but Security Center, when that access request is granted, will make the network changes for you. So if you want to allow port 22 for SSH access, you can configure this with just-in-time access, and then your administrators can request access, and Security Center will then send a request to the firewall or the network security group and make the changes for you, and then remove them afterwards as well, just in case you forget. And again, all of these kind of access requests and the access granted, they're all logged as well in the activity log. So you've got that compliance and all of the activities logged in case you need to come back on them. Another thing, just ensure monitoring is in place. So you can use Azure Monitor and Log Analytics. So this allows you to have constant monitoring on all of your resources. So in the middle of the night, if one of your resources goes offline, which is crucial and critical, this can be picked up live or shortly after to make sure it's back up and running. And again, please make sure backups are in place. You can use Azure Backup, or you can use a third-party backup tool. Don't wait until a disaster's happened in order to trigger your backup strategy. Make sure it's at the heart of what you're trying to do now, setting up the environment to host workloads and production workloads, and then that way you'll get the best, the best environment for when you're in there. And the last one, antivirus. Again, whether this is Microsoft's anti-malware or Sophos or any other provider, just ensure all your endpoints are protected before you go live.